see where we get some more light out here tonight. We definitely gonna need some more light. Turn that light on right there. All right. All right. So we got that going. We're gonna need more light. Let's see. So we don't have many watching right now. We're just getting started. All right. So we're gonna make a little bit more light. Not many people started. This is not. Man, delete this video. Give me some more light. All right. All right. So we're out and about, getting ready to do some good old radio. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I may do a little SSB and maybe chase some POTA on the East Coast. So we're out tonight with UFO lights. Yeah. So we're out tonight with a few radios. We got the fire burning, and we want to do some chasing tonight. I'm just in the mood to listen. I got the Zeus. I got Old Faithful sounding pretty good tonight. See if we can just listen to some people out there, maybe chase some POTA. But more importantly, not just do some radio, but let's just talk about radio. Every so often I like to, I don't find enough people to talk about radio with. I might sound crazy. I go to my local tech nets and we talk about different radio concepts and stuff like that, but sometimes I just want to chit chat. And I want to always talk about it. I can tell you that much. So let me see if I can get this thing on. So we got a little antenna out here. Yeah, it's live. Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, brother? So good to see you. It's YouTube live, as a matter of fact. So let's see how many people we can get to come in and watch this live with us and have some fun with some radios. There we go. We'll watch it right there. And then we can maybe even look at the comments. So feel free to type in anything you like. Feel free to basically ask any questions that you may want to ask, and we'll just take it from there. All right. So I see a few people commenting UFO lights. So ain't nothing much happening on here. See what we got going on there. I'll turn that one down. See if we can start chasing some stations. Look like we got some DX going on. Hey, Muhammad. Everybody's chasing this guy right here.
Going down to line number 20.
Oh, they got some late night late.
Quebec Oscar Yankee.
Shalom.
It's your turn.
We got a few nets going on tonight. Let's comment on how good Bob was doing tonight. Let's see, we got some good Wi-Fi going on. All right, connected. Boom, Metro Atlanta AM. All right, there we go. Let's kind of get it a little bit bigger. So how's the stream going for you guys? All right, so I'm going to be watching comments, and if anybody has any comments and want to talk to Amature Radio, just let me know. Doing it. Hopefully, I wish I could have a phone line. I'd rather a phone line where people just call in during the daytime and talk about whatever they want. So how's the stream going for you guys? Yeah. Well, man, I like, I appreciate your comment. I try to bring good energy. I think my energy is genuine. It's very sincere.
Well, no, perfection takes time.
You know? And we all learning out here. We all trying to get better. Yep. Awesome. Well, Going to try to do more streams. Going to try to get more content. I'm going to try to have better content. But really, just doing more and more radio to get better at radio. I have a few things that I'm working on that I want to get better at. Name a few things that you guys want to get better at. I think one of the things that I want to get better at is DMR. Well, no, I take that back. I'd rather get better at D Star because I have an IC705, and I think the first thing I want to talk about, I think I want to talk about this. One of the first things I want to talk about tonight is reading your manuals and mastering the features on the radios that you own. Because I'm learning more and more and more that a lot of our radios have a lot more to offer than than we use. Sometimes we buy 2, 3, and 4 radios, right? And we haven't even used all of the features in the radios that we do own. So that's something that's like real crazy big to me. And that's what I've been doing lately. And you know what? It's like I've been enjoying my radios a lot more since doing that. I can tell you that much. Um, and that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I've been reading the manual to the IC706, and I'm finding more and more and more about filters, um, the features that the radio possesses. And I had that experience one time, and I hate to admit it, I had that experience one time with my Anytone 578, the mobile rig. And when I looked at that rig, I'm all about feature rich radios, and that radio ended up being very feature rich. And what I mean by that is that radio ended up having APRS. That radio ended up having crossband repeat. I think there's a feature inside that radio that releases 220 band. And that was an older model of the 578. I think it can receive APRS, but it couldn't transmit. You know, but I'm ashamed to say that I own an IC706 or 5, an IC705, and I haven't fully explored the wide variety of features that the radio possesses. And so that's tonight's theme for me, mastering your radio. And when you master your radio, when you take the time to master your radio, you feel less prone and or less pressured into buying newer radios. Learning your radio, the ins and outs of your radio, can save you money. And listen, I'm all about saving money. I'm not about waste, you know? Simon. Oh, man, I didn't know that I was doing it, Simon. I think the key to it was when I was a fresh ham, um, I wanted the the FT857D because I had a prepper mentality. Why wouldn't I want a radio that does UHF, VHF, HF and gives me every capability? To me, a Mars modded all band, all mode radio to me is the ultimate survival tool. If Icon would make the IC706 or 5, 20 watts, oh my God. 20 watts with a built-in tuner and antenna analyzer like the Zygo radios, I don't think anybody else would sell any other radios. Now they have to keep it at about $1,200, which I think is probably impossible. But no, the 857 was my dream rig at the time. I had just got my General, and I couldn't find one. And I was like, man, why would I want a radio that does only HF? Because I was naive at the time. I ended up getting the 891, and that was the beginning of my HF journey. But subsequently, later on, I found 857. One of my Elmers, he told me about it on eBay, N4JAW, and John, K4WCL. I sent them the link, and they were like, Yusuf, you got to go for it. And I went for it, and I kid you not, that radio has been my most favorite radio. It sits next to me right now. I'm running some APRS right now on it, and I'm using the Abri whip, the Abri antenna with it, and the 857 is my favorite radio because most of the amateur radio softwares that we have, they work well with the 857 settings, rig and cat control and audio settings. For me, with any Windows machine, or even some Linux machine, the 857 for some odd reason just does it all. It doesn't even, hold up. All right. Thank you for letting me know that. How does it sound now? Sounding pretty good?
I've been married
Thank
to the
you.
same woman for 40 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. How am I doing now? I guess I got to stay close to it. Mic gain on the phone.
Joking around.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, so if I like to repeat, I say the reason why I enjoy the 857 so much is that it does everything well because the Windows softwares they the Windows softwares with the 857 they work flawlessly. The cat control, rig control, and audio settings with the DigiRig and the 857 is the reason why it's my most favorite radio. Uh, that radio does it does what do you call that? It does JSA call well. It does WSJTX well. It does VAR AC well. It does every last digital mode from SSTV to all of the ones that we enjoy doing flawlessly with this Windows tablet. Some of the applications on Linux they work well, but the 857 I have no issues doing anything. I love that radio. I do APRS very well. When the SMS gate was open, I was able to send text messages and email like crazy. So that radio has been old faithful. I just can't take away from how capable it is, you know, and the whole man pack thing. Yeah, so that was my second radio. So I think JC mentioned, you know, that how I take older radios and basically make them intelligent, make them smart. I'm a fire alarm technician. And I remember, like, we would take older fire alarm pull stations and we would add some type of control module to it and make it intelligent. Because the old ones, they were just dumb. You know, they would trigger an alarm and that was it. But so that's what I've done with the 857. Then moving on, I think the next radio that I got was the 705, IC 705, and I can't deny I tout Zygo. I don't work for Zygo, but I damn sure buy me a Zygo T-shirt because Zygo they understand your circumstances, they understand your situation. I know everybody gives those Chinese radios a hard time, but they work. How can you not like them? I think one of the biggest problems I ran into with my G90 was one day I was in a park that was surrounded by an AM broadcast station, and man, I was like, oh my God, this radio is broken. It's terrible. Man, I did some research. I called around and found a $42 AM filter that I run in series with it, and I don't have that problem anymore. Look at the sound quality right here, and you guys have seen this before. I'm running a flat AGC right now. You know, I'm following some of the nets.
QIA, Brian. Okay, thanks for doing the net there. Let me try the combo West Virginia.
And 45 dollars, that's fair enough. But you know, for the price and the fun factor, because so somebody explain this to me. The 705 was my second radio, and I loved it. But man, once I put a 6100 in my hand, for 1 year straight, I ended up like going on soda activations with just the. Oh, okay, okay. I guess I got to keep it close to me. All right. All right. So 45 too. Now I don't know if that was a compliment or insult to the G90, but the way I got my G90 set up, it's very attractive. It's very what do you call that? Cyberpunk. Probably Douglas. Probably. Typically Sundays are the days that I get out, because you know I work throughout the week. Um, so that was funny. That was funny. 45 auto. But who was that? Ham without a plan. I love your name. I mean, I think that's a pretty awesome name. The DigiRig is definitely something I need to add to the kit. Cables for the G90 and the 706 Mark II Golf. You got a good shack, my man. You got a good shack. You got a shack that's kind of close to mine. And you got to get the DigiRig. The guys down at DigiRig are all, I mean, some level of noise reduction. Yeah, but the thing about it is, bro, the more you read And the more you read the manual and the more you dig into the forms, I'm getting better at filtering with the G90. I'm getting better at using the noise balance and the preamplifier and the RF gain and the AGC. Like I found this one guy, I found this one article. Basically, I just leave the AGC off, and when I tune to a frequency, I start working with the RF gain, and then I start to play with the AGC, and then I try to filter it in. But these are some cool things that I'm learning because this device, or rather this transceiver, doesn't have all the fancy smancy stuff. You know, um, so that's one way I deal with it. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm radio happy. I just love all my dang radios. Today I was down at HRO hanging out with the bros, and I was doing some slow scan TV with one of the TX500s that they had on display. Then I started playing with one of the IC705s. I've been fantasizing about buying the Yaesu 710 AES for my shack. Um, you know, Yatuka, Utaka, WSG. What's going on? Oh man, you know what? Let me see if I'm on my I'm on my Wi-Fi network. Let's see if you can still hear me. Let me know what that audio is doing now. I got off of my Wi-Fi network. Ooh, some bug is biting my toe. All right, you running the latest firmware on the G90? Yeah, I'm running the latest. I didn't go up to 1.8 on the head unit and keep the other one at 1.79. I'm good. I mean, right now it's doing everything that I wanted to do. I'm in a G90 form. Armorlock 57D. Anyone have a patch cable? I'm running like, let me just, I like to say, I don't tell you how long they are, but I'm running some good cables I got from HRO, and I think they're 259 to BNC, and they're about 8 to 10 inches long. So Ed, that's what I'm running on the 857. Does that help? Does it make any sense? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, they've been working pretty good. They've been working flawlessly. Yeah, mine are about 12 inches, and they fit right in my pack. They fit the length of the radio very well. And you've probably seen tons of pictures that I have with that man pack. Sometimes I carry that radio around like a purse. So really, yeah, I've been working with Seth for a while now. I wouldn't mind getting the armor lock on the 706. I wouldn't mind doing that with the 706. Yeah, but it would make it even more heavy. I don't know. I've been running it like this with this screen on top, so I don't know if that's going to benefit me any. You know what I'm saying? Man, let me tell you, the way the armor lock allows me to basically have these front-facing antenna ports, and it allows me to have my digirig front-facing and my. I don't have a 3D printer, but I've been thinking about buying one. Um, and what did I say? I usually have my friends print stuff out for me, and I'll pay like my buddy, his son has one, and I'll just support his little business. He's a teenager, and so I'll get the designs to him. I say, hey, bro, you think Junior can print me out one? I kind of like supporting the kid, give him some motivation, help him develop his career. I don't know. I mean, STEM. I'm all about kids developing themselves in STEM. So audio still looking good. Well, JC, check this out. I want to build a cyberdeck computer. And what I mean by that is I want to build a computer that fits on my wrist. I want to build a computer that fits on my wrist and allows me to control my radios just like a superhero. You know? And I'm thinking about it, but I need a 3D printer to really manifest that idea. Because I want a nice screen, a nice keyboard, and a mouse. Worst case scenario, I'll have a long USB going to a radio. Like say you got your 857 on your back. Well, who wants to be transmitting? I mean, what if you're transmitting 15 watts doing WSJTX from your back? What if you're doing Vara AC uh, with the radio on your back? Or in the case of a IC 6100 or 705, you could be running your radio from your wrist while you're drinking tea, sitting in the woods. Because I love doing radio in the woods. I love doing radio on the summit. I love doing radio for soda, you know. I set up a lot of radios tonight. Listen to these guys, hear what they're talking about.
Anyone hear that station?
All right, let me see. I might want to get on with them. Don't go cheap on the printer. JCW, I'm going to take your idea. I've never heard of a mount extender. I never heard about that. But yeah, one of my next projects is building a CyberDeck type PC built to your wrist. The way I really want to do it is with a screen and a keyboard. I may dumb it down and use an Android tablet. Yeah. But that would be part of it when you think about it. But no, I don't want the head unit. I want to do everything through cat control. That's the idea. I want to get away from the radio. I want the radio to be somewhere separate, and I want to be running the radio from my wrist. I want to be doing Vara AC chat from the wrist. Now that's just an idea, you know. That's one idea. I mean, I got another idea. Look at that. A little higher. So that's one thing. But I can tell you, I digress. My new passion right now is learning everything there is to know about my radios. Reading the manuals, watching more. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I can see that. Man, speaking of that, right? There's.
Roger. Thank you so much, Pete. Have fun with your podcast.
Yeah, hey, appreciate that, Simon. Appreciate that.
Thank you for coming back to me.
Yeah, JCW, send me that, man. Send me that. That'd be great. But changing gears, right? Changing gears. This is something that was on my mind today. So, you know, you guys like to go mobile, which I like APRS. I love APRS. And I got a new car recently, and I don't want to put a head unit on the see, JC. Dorian, monsieur, I don't know if you guys speak French in Canada where you are, but je parle un peu. J'habite les communautés des francophones, les cités de Nouvelle-Orléans. So I have a little bit of French, depending on what part of Canada you're from. But I've been looking at a UHF VHF radio. It's a radio that doesn't have a head unit, and everything is controlled. Très bien. Okay, merci, monsieur, merci. Alberta, Canada. But this radio, it's a VNG something 7500 radio. I'm thinking about getting that radio for my car. I want to be able to run APRS on a cheap tablet and have it dedicated to APRS. You know, and then I can pick the size of tablet that I want, the size of display that I want, and I don't want to be sharing APRS with my phone. Okay, hand without a plan. All right, this is how I do it. Because I do soda, if I get to a bald and I can't stick a spike in the ground for a vertical or tactical delta loop, because I run the Chameleon, I always pull out my in-fed half-wave spark plug antenna, 61-foot piece of 26 gauge wire, and I use a soda beams mask. And I use the soda beams mask more than anything, but this is how it goes. Sometimes I'll get to a summit, there are no trees, so I run the vertical or the tactical delta loop. If it's a bald, I'll run a mast, and I'll stick that mast anywhere, and I can get my stuff up within a matter of minutes. Because the key for me is sometimes on soda, I'm very cold, and it's very difficult to be throwing stuff in the tree when your fingers are cold. What's up, Arthur? How you doing, man? So hand without a plan. Does that answer your question? I love the in-fed half wave with the spark plug antenna with QRP radios, 50 watt max on on the spark plug. But I also love the tactical delta loop from Chameleon, and I bring two elements, the middle beam and the spike, and I bring all that when I go on soda. And I can say that I've reached France with the in-fed half wave mass on top of Grassy Mountain with 10 watts. Had a good 5.9 Q so, but you know how radio works. You know how it works. I get all over the country with that. The tactical delta loop is like a dang on RF succubus, like a black hole. It sucks in everything. Um, it sucks in everything that's in the radio in the air. So I like the tactical delta loop, and I really like the chameleon. Those are my favorite antennas. I had the G5 RV at my crib. After about 2 or 3 years, it broke. It served me well, and now I'm running the MCOM 3, like a multi-band, in-fed half wave, like 72 foot on one side, 25 foot counterpoise, like on the other side. That's what I'm running at my crib. Simon, my opinion is January 1, 2024, God willing, inshallah, I will dedicate myself to learning CW. That's it. A lot of the more experienced guys that I hang out with, they all run CW. Um, but it's your flavor, Simon. It's what you like. I notice when guys run CW, they get tunnel vision, and I don't like to operate all the time with guys that do CW because if me and my buddies are running soda, what's up, Woods and Bites? If my guys are running soda, I'll run an in-fade half wave. My other buddy will run a vertical, and we won't be messing with each other. But my buddy who's in the corner doing CW, he'll just be blasting us out, and so we have to wait. Well, hand without a plan, Chameleon has so many crazy sales, it's ridiculous. You just gotta get on their newsletter, and you could build you a tactical. I mean, you could build you a delta loop too. I know a lot of guys build them with wire. But here's the deal, hand without a plan. The tactical delta loop, like I was running late for this live, right? And I set the 17-foot vertical up in spike. I set it in the ground, and I was done literally in 120 seconds. I put the spike in the ground. I erected the 17-foot whip and ran the coax over to the G90. So I was done. So that's all I run. I run 2 whips, the matching transformer, and a 25-foot cross piece. And I don't always run the delta loop. If I'm running late or I need to move, I'll run the spike straight in the ground. Bro, just do what you got to do. Save up to get it. I love that. I love that antenna. It is it's the bee's knees, man. I mean, if there was a cheaper version of it, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. How about this? Do some research. See if you can build one. Hey, David. I'm portable only. So, Simon, here's the cool thing about CW. I mean, your gear can get lighter and lighter. I know a lot of old timers, a lot of guys who have a lot of skill. And man, these guys are out there with CW only radios, thin wire, running CW with a 9-volt battery. I mean, running milliwatts, running 1 watt. They're up there with mountain toppers. They're using, the KXs, the 6100s. CW guys can't be stopped, man. They are awesome. I like to talk. I like to do SSB. Wow, David, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, what happens, here's the deal. I've had a buddy of mine, his TX500 has been in the shop for 6 months. So it happens. But for me, my experience and the experience of a lot of people, the G90, it's just been awesome. It's probably, it's top three purchases that I've made this year, period. The G-Tac I bought from eBay, number one. What's up, Todd? The G-Tac that I bought, that used G-Tac FT110 Tough Book, it was 189 and ended up getting another battery for 50 bucks a week later. And that was number one purchase. Oh my god, because I use it for personal use. I use it for all of my radios, all of my ham work. And it was like 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gig solid state hard drive. It had a GPS in it. It had like up to 8 to 10 hours of battery usage. What else? It's rugged. It's police, like, it's military spec. So that was a good buy. The G90 was a good buy, and the 6100 was a good buy. Top three buys of 2023 for me. Somebody calling CQDX on 14.244. I don't think he wants to talk to me.
November Yankee calling CQDX. CQ Delta X-ray, Kilo Delta 2, Whiskey November Yankee calling CQDX and listening.
Well, it looks like you were putting the work on it, David. 15,000 QSOs. I think you're a super user. You're what they call a super user, Broham. I don't think a dang on TX500 would have stood up to your usage. One mic start working. POTA, baby. Yeah, you a savage. I don't think there's a radio that could stand up to your usage, man. Yeah, but I don't know. To me, I just, but here's the big thing. David, you wouldn't believe it, but I sold my 891 just to get the G90. I did. Yeah, but the funny part about it, Todd, is like a brand new G-Tac is like 3,500 bucks. And when you can find them on eBay for, 180 bucks with a charger, man, that's a good deal. The one I had a cell phone chip in it and lasted for about 3 or 4 months. It was a great deal, man. Very good deal. Yeah, you guys are a good crowd, man. You definitely make me want to do this again. But you know what, David? I can't say that fan system is built a lot better, because the fan that I have on the G90 now, you can't even tell it's running. I don't know what they did to them fans, but they upgraded them. I don't have any problems with the fan, bro. Yeah, that new fan ain't no joke, buddy. Yeah. So what else? Let me see. Anything you guys want to talk about? See, and that's good customer service, David. What's up, Woods and Bikes? How you doing, man? As I grow, I definitely at some point made, put my Amateur Radio on some enduro bikes, but I'm not a bike person. I don't know. Imagine having a G90 on the back of an enduro bike and just going into the North Georgia mountains and roasting some shoulder of lamb and doing amateur radio. Man, that would be a fun experience, just camping out the back of your bike. I run that real thin, that thin coax. What's that? RG 174, I think. Yeah, my buddy Sarge, W4UYE, use your equipment. He turned me on to him. I get two 25-foot pieces from Amazon for like 25 bucks. So with that 174, I dig it, David. Yeah. I like the G90 just for the form factor. I'm not a big tuner guy. Yeah, that 174, 26 gauge wire and a spark plug antenna and a soda beans mask. That's what I'm carrying inside my bag when I go on soda activations. That's super light. That and a 6100, man, and a talent cell battery. Oh my goodness, you gonna activate. Go for it, Todd. Go for it, man. I can't get enough of radio right now. Well, and also congratulations on your retirement, Todd. That is outstanding accomplishment. I am far away from that, but I'm working every day towards it. I can tell you that much. Hopefully, my lovely wife can stand me taking her on all of my radio adventures. But I'm going to do some adventures with her, but just 90% of them will probably be related to radio. I'm probably going to be in the satellite, CW, and just chewing the rag because I don't think we do enough of that. I think the other day I was off from work because I had like a mechanic appointment or something, and I was listening to some of the daytime nets. And man, those retired dudes seemed like they were just enjoying themselves tremendously. Well, Dan, the Panasonic Tough Books are great. The G-Tac, they're great. Frank, the only difference that I do see between the two, from my experience, is the power out. I do think that the G90, okay, I do think that the G90 is a lot easier to use. It has a lot less that trouble that you can get into. Like for me to do digital on the G90, I do line in and I fix the audio input and output. It doesn't have a whole bunch of filters, and I've been having a good time reading the manual. The 6100, the digital is very plug and play, but the 6100 is another radio that I want to take the time and dedicate reading, studying, and getting to have an intimate relationship with the intricacies of the radio. So the 6100 has a lot more to offer. I love the 6100's potential for wireless communications, because until you've done WSJTX wirelessly with your G-Tac tablet, you haven't done digital. Julian, man, sitting in his hammock with his tablet or his Surface Go, which, by the way, Surface Go is terrible for amateur radio. I will talk about that later. But when I'm using the 705 and I'm using WF View and I'm using it wirelessly, my God, that's an experience. So now, if I can do wireless digital modes with the 6100, that just kind of, the 6100 is just a cooler radio than the G90, but I just love the G90. I'd rather, some days I want to go out with the G90. And you guys see how I got my G90 set up. I have a battery, I got the fan, I got the little speaker. Yeah. And here's the deal, that extra 20 watts, the extra 10 watts have gotten me like, I don't care about 100 watts anymore. Since I've owned the G90, 100 watts is the last thing on my mind, because I've been making every QSO, and I've been getting 5.9s all over the country. And I'm talking about compromised antennas. I'll be at a park just chasing POTA, and I hung my in-fed half-wave off of some pull-up bars, and that was a 5.9 all over the country. That's what I like about the G90. And it sips power for what it is, It sips power. Even on receive, I was clocking the G90 at 0.56 amps. I don't know. It's just the G90 is a likable radio. And I know a lot of guys get bent out of shape when it comes to the idea about premium radios. Here's the deal with the 891. I would need an associate's degree. I think mine is, Dan. I would need an associate's degree to get good at the G90. Hear me out. You would need to go to a community college and take a class on the FT891 to get good at it. It has too many menus. Yeah. That's what I don't like about the FT891. Like, to do digital, oh my God. Look at all the millions of settings that you got to do digital. What is it, 65 something menus? With internal menus inside the menus? You can't even change the band. Like, you got to hit the button, then you got to scroll to the band. It's terrible. Yeah. Then it has a massive amount of filters. I just... Yeah, and I've owned the 891 was my first HF radio. It was my first radio. It was my first HF radio. It was the one I did. I love the screen on the 891. I ain't gonna lie. The 891 reminds me of the TX500 as far as the screen is concerned, but everything else about the 891 I prefer. I just liked. I mean, think about it. I used to go on Soda. I had the 891 with the armor lock first. I think I got the armor lock for my 891. Okay, number two. On Soda, the 891 is too heavy. The 891 don't have a tuner. A CAHR. Oh yeah. Coffee and Ham Radio. Hey, you know we're gonna get there, man. We're gonna get there. That's my buddy, man. Steve. He emailed me the other day. He always checking on me. He's always seeing how I'm doing, asking me if he can help me grow my channel. Yeah. Steve is a good guy, man. I really enjoy him. Yeah, Doug, but it's too much, man. Oh, nice, Evan. Hey, Evan, tell him I mentioned him in the live, man. Tell him I was bragging up his name. But the 891 gives me a little anxiety, and I haven't looked back since getting the G91. Now I know what I'm missing. I'm missing the filtering. I'm missing this and that and the other. But you know what about life? Hey, Mary. You know what I love about life? The G90 makes me want to get better. That makes sense. The G90 makes me want to understand filters better. It makes me want to understand how to use my radio better to get the results that you get with an 891 because it comes with all the features. That may sound crazy. Man, manuals are gold. Oh wow. Okay, I don't know. I don't eat chips. Yeah, I take nothing away from Yesu because I couldn't live without my 857. I tell you what though, if the 891 was the predecessor to the 857, I wouldn't have a thing to say about it. If the 891 would have been everything the 857 was, but better with that screen and knob, I would say nothing about the 891. Let's talk about it. You guys brought it up. We in here 42 minutes, but you triggered me just now. You triggered me. Okay. If the 891 had gotten 2 meter 440, I wouldn't have a thing to say about it. You know? David, do you love it or you hate it? David, you really love. Yeah, so the 891 to me, that's why I sold it. Man, and when I sold it, people were very emotionally attached to the idea that I was selling my 891 to buy a G90. You know, sometimes you have surplus income to buy radios. At the time, I didn't. So I was like, okay, I'll sell a radio that I'm not using. Man, I was running a dang on Digilink Nano. This sound card was a precursor to the Digirig, same form factor, same Chinese factory idea. I was running the Digilink Nano on the 891 with a Raspberry Pi in my shack. The 891 was my shack radio, and the 705 began to be my shack radio because of that beautiful waterfall and spectrum scope. And so I just hadn't used the 891 in months. But man, when I tell you I was talking about selling that 891, everybody was bent out of shape. It was like I was selling a Glock for a Taurus. It was like I was selling a Glock for a High Point. People were losing their minds. Like, I almost lost some friends over that. Because I have an 857. I have a 706. I have a 6100, a 705. I could stand to use a G90. And at one time I had a TX500. But I sold that because the TX500 is an ergonomic nightmare. It is a supermodel. It is a Ferrari that once you marry the chick, she farts and burps and snores at night. Yeah. The TX500 is probably the most beautiful radio they make. But it brings nothing to a relationship when you start using it. David, you are an alpha user. You in a G90, you could have had an 857, you would have talked the screen away. You could have had a 706, you would have burned the screen away. All right, so hand without a plan. Here's the deal, brother. Here's the deal. If ICOM releases a rugged 705 with 20 watts, I don't think anybody else will ever sell any radios. That's number one. If Zygu comes out with an all band 6100 with 20 watts, it's over. Yaesu keeps coming out with these big knob FTM 500 looking radios, and if they don't come out with a sound card to I don't know what can they do. How you gonna compete with a 6100 and a 705? And we haven't seen a Spectrum waterfall from Yaesu. Name one radio with a Spectrum waterfall, HF radio. So what are they gonna do with the 818 and 817? If they don't come out with a big waterfall, maybe a built-in tuner, we can live without that, a lot of us. So think about it, Ed. Think about it. Hammer without a plan. What are they going to come out with? I don't want to see a small screen with a fugly knob. First and foremost, I am a Yaesu, somebody who has owned two Yaesu radios. I have a FT3D, an 857. I had an 891. But I have a hell of a lot more fun with my 6100, my 705, and my G90. We're just being honest here. We're just being honest, guys. Top radio 705, next good fun radio 6100, next fun radio G90. Listen, Zygu put it on everybody's mind. Some people are tuner people. I'm learning. Some people are tuner people. Some people are not. Okay? There's some people who don't need a tuner. There's some people who don't need 100 watts. Yeah. The ball is in Yaesu's court. ICOM hit a home run so hard with that 705, man. My God, when was the last time that radio came? They have no one. The 6100 took a great deal of the market share. I don't care what nobody says, but the more I look at my 705 today, I'm like, this is a bad radio. The problem with the 705 is it's too big. I think kind of like, well, no, you have to put a case on the 705. 705 in the field without a case is not a good look. Once the 705 gets a case and tripod, now it becomes too big in your bag. That's why when I was doing soda, I was grabbing the 6100 with that little tactical paracord bracelet and some dang on handrails. That little radio will go anywhere. And if you glue a Velcro battalion cell to the back to get your 10 watts, for soda, in my opinion, the 6100 is a better radio. Size, backpacking, price, tuner. All right. G90. I'm just saying. I would never choose a 818 or 817 over a G90. Oh my God. That's a big statement I made. I don't know, man. I like color screens. And right now the G99 is on sale for $399. The 6100 is on sale for $539 or something like that on Radiotity. And I heard the G-Sock was out back in stock. I think Steve tweeted that from Coffee and Ham Radio. Steve tweeted that. Well, man, I want to thank all you guys for joining this live, man. You guys made my night a lot better. You made my evening night better. Because my goal was just to talk about radios and talk about ham radios. Yeah. You guys gave me some more ideas about, what I need to do moving forward. Because thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for being part of it. You guys made it better. I can go to sleep happy tonight. Because to end the stream, I think the big thing I wanted to do was create a space where we can just talk about radios. Because nobody wants to talk about radios with us. Yeah. Hand without a plan. Hey guys, check out my Twitter, and you can hit me up on the Zed. You can email me. So I want to stay in contact with you guys. Ham, Without a Plan, Ed, David, Woods and Bikes. Please, you guys hit me up, man, and we can talk. Douglas, okay, like I said, congratulations on your retirement. Hey, Jim, what's up, my guy? Yeah, guys, hit me up on Twitter or in the Zed, and I'm always open to email because I love talking about radios. I love talking about ham radio, and if you guys like to do the same, I'm going to try to do this again. Maybe do it better, but you know, I had to try it. So 73, simplify, and good night. Dan, I like the Panasonic. Try to get you a nice Panasonic or G-Tac. 73, guys. Peace.